Welcome back. Our next guest is a tax strategist and the founder of Melanin Tax Solutions. She joins us to highlight the work that she is doing to save money for people this tax season and so much more. Money, 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 money.
Money.
And she sings too. Please welcome to the show, Lorraine Millington.
Thank you so much for having me.
Hey, did you clear your voice before you got here?
I did. I was prepared. You always got to be ready, right?
Yeah, you got to be ready.
Stay ready. You don't have to get ready.
You see, she's in there. So listen, Lorraine, thank you for joining us today.
Thank you for having me.
And tell us a little bit about yourself and why you entered the tax field, and how long have you worked as a tax strategist?
Sure. So I'm actually Bronx raised, born and raised. I also have, yes.
You got to get this.
Okay, BX.
And switch it over here too.
Okay. Got it.
There you go.
Okay, all right. So yes, Bronx, born and raised. I also have a Caribbean background, both Jamaica and Barbados.
Yeah, woman.
Yeah. And how I got started in the tax field actually started with my parents that have the Caribbean background. It wasn't until, because I like money, right? And I think most people who are watching this like money also.
Are you cheap? You're thrifty? You save your money?
No, I think it's being strategic with your money. I wouldn't say cheap, it's just being strategic with your money, right? And so how I got into tax, it wasn't until my mom actually took us to an office to get our taxes prepared, because before then, my dad was actually doing our taxes by hand, right?
Yeah.
So it wasn't until I was in the office and I'm watching our taxes being prepared and I'm like, you know what? I need to learn more about this. I need to learn more about how do I save and keep my own money.
Yes.
Fast forward, for the past 17 years, I've been a tax strategist, and I've not only learned how to save money on my taxes for myself, but I also do it for others as well.
What's one thing that you think people are missing, or that you see a lot that comes across your desk?
Sure.
That people are not doing that can help them save some money?
Sure. So there are a lot of things I think that people can do to help them save money on their taxes. A lot of it is not necessarily being aware of what's happening on your tax return, right? There's so many times that I work with clients that they either come to me and they're saying, I don't know why I owe every year, or I don't know why I'm not getting a big tax refund. There are a couple of things happening there, and not all the time is getting a big tax refund a good thing. Because if you think about it, if you're getting a large tax refund, that means you're giving the IRS or the state an interest-free loan, right? So part of the strategy is
where
learning.
You can have that money in your own account, getting interest and everything.
Exactly. So you can either.
Can you do 6 months and then 6 months?
It really depends on it's not a one-size-fits-all type of situation, right? Where I can say, okay, you should definitely do this, or someone else should definitely do that. It really depends on your situation. You also want to make sure you're eligible for certain credit. So there's a lot of different things that go into it, which is part of the strategy, right? Which is why you're working with someone who's actually putting a plan together for you versus just filing the tax returns.
You know, I was always getting money back, and then a few years back, something happened. Did somebody change the tax laws or something on that?
Yeah, so that's a really great point. The tax laws changed drastically, I want to say about 7-8 years ago now. It seems like it's a blink of the eye, but it's been changed for about 7-8 years, and so that drastically changed some of the credits. Like if someone was itemizing their deductions, for example, a lot of people aren't eligible to do that anymore because of the way that the tax code changed. So this is primarily where it's helpful to be in the know, and you don't necessarily have to be in the know. You just have to have somebody on your team that's in the know to help you stay educated and kind of stay up on what's going on.
Like your organization.
Exactly.
Keep everybody up to date, right?
Yes.
Now, do you do the bookkeeping for them also?
For certain clients where we're packaging everything together, so especially the business owners that I work with, right? It's kind of like a one-stop shop where we're doing bookkeeping, we're doing tax preparation, we're having strategic tax planning sessions. We're wrapping that all in together so that they can focus more on their business and not necessarily what's going on behind the scenes.
How important is that, the bookkeeping? Because you may have everything that you need when you file, but if you audit it, you got to have it
And the other
has to be
thing is, do
substantial.
you actually have everything that you need when you file if your bookkeeping isn't in order? If you aren't tracking exactly, like, where, depending on where you are, I don't remember sometimes what happened 2 weeks ago, right? So
Yeah,
how are you
yeah.
going to remember in January what you did for the whole year previous, right? Like that's part of where bookkeeping comes in, where you're tracking your spending, you're tracking your expenses throughout the year
Yeah.
to be able to have it ready for tax time. And then like you said, for audits, right? A lot of times I tell people you can audit proof yourself as long as you have the documentation or the proof for what it is that you're putting in the tax return.
Right, right. Should you do it should it be a monthly thing or a weekly thing?
So I
if you're
often
bookkeeping
say,
yourself?
if you're doing it yourself, I mean, you can have a particular cadence depending on the size of your business. I mean, it doesn't hurt to have that done monthly. You want to make sure, like at the end of the month, that you're seeing how much you spent, how much money you brought in, so you can make more informed financial decisions for
Yeah.
yourself and for your business. So monthly is usually a pretty good cadence, depending on what's happening.
I see some of the things that set you apart from some of the other people doing this.
Oh, what's that?
Well, some of the things that you're talking about
Oh.
right now. Not everybody. Some people are not telling you everything or
Right.
instructing you or giving you
That's
tips. They're just filing your taxes and that's it.
And that's
Is that
one
against
of
the law to be able to tell somebody, depending on what type of CPA they are? Or-
I wouldn't necessarily say it's against the law, but oftentimes I find that sometimes people don't share everything because they think people are just going to go out and do their taxes on their own, right? Like a lot of professionals think of, if I give them the whole playbook,
Right,
then
right.
they're just going to turn around and do their own taxes. And I promise you, 99% of the people do not want to do their own taxes, right?
Yeah.
They want to work with someone who knows what they're doing, makes them feel comfortable about their taxes so they don't have to
Yeah.
worry about them themselves.
You don't want to come up on the radio and just open up a microphone, or if I give you a microphone, you start singing.
Oh, we would
somebody's
actually,
song.
no, I
You want to
mean,
get somebody who knows how to do this.
exactly. I want a professional speaker, or a professional singer, absolutely, yeah.
So, what are some of the other solutions you provide for your clients?
So we take more of like a holistic approach. I like to call it like the tax wellness framework, right? Where we're not only doing your tax preparation, but we're also doing financial health coaching. And when I say financial health, it's more tailored around how you're thinking and behaving around money, right? Because that drives a lot of the decisions that you're making. So we're doing tax preparation, we're doing financial health coaching, and then we're also doing strategic tax planning. And so that triple threat, if you will, helps you to really set yourself up for success.
That's how you win.
Yes,
Muhammad
absolutely.
Ali did it. He did the combination. Bam, 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 bam.
Knockout,
Yeah.
right?
Oh.
And so I think that's so key because I often call it the tax game, right?
Yeah,
And you
yeah.
want to everyone wants to win, and you absolutely want to win at the tax game.
A
And
lot
so,
of people winning. Some people don't pay taxes. Some people feel like they're paying all the taxes.
Well, it's interesting because for the folks who think that people aren't paying taxes, quite honestly, they're strategically using the tax code, right? Because it's all outlined there for us. You just have to know how to use it and how to apply it for yourself. So we're all paying taxes. It's just, are you getting more credit for the things that you're doing?
Should you use one tax preparer or a company like yours if you do your personal taxes? You have a for-profit and a non-profit.
Sure,
Can you
sure.
put all of those together and
Yeah,
make it work?
that's a great question. And so for most people, depending on what type of business they have, a lot of times your business goes through to your personal as well, right? So if you have someone that's doing all three of those, whether you're doing your individual tax return, your business, and then if you happen to also start a nonprofit, you can certainly have, if they have the knowledge and experience, certainly have one person doing all three.
Yeah. You know how to do that?
I do. I have
do?
clients. Yes, I have clients who I do their individual, their business, and nonprofit. Now, each of these have different deadlines. You also want to make sure that the person that you're working with is staying up to date on what those deadlines are. But you can certainly have one person do all three.
Yeah. And do you put together workshops and do public speaking and everything?
Absolutely. Yes. I'm very
So we have
passionate
an outreach
about.
going on.
Yes,
talking about your-
I'm very much interested in doing more trainings and doing more workshops and enlightening people more about the fun that you can have with taxes.
Yeah, there you go.
Yes, absolutely.
Oh, look at you. Getting down to business here.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right. Because taxes can be fun. And I really want people to understand that. I really want people to be able to let the shoulders down and let loose as it relates. Yes, exactly. Just take that exhale, right?
Just sink down into the chair.
Exactly.
And let somebody knows how to do this,
yes.
do it for you.
Yes.
Yeah.
Take
I mean, you
that
can
weight
learn
off.
too. You can.
Oh,
You
absolutely.
should be
I mean,
following along.
that's how I got started. Right? Like I said, like I saw it being done and I said, I want to learn more about that. I just took it a step further. And now not only am I doing it for myself, but I'm doing it for others also.
Great, great. And you've been you're how many years in?
17, can you believe it?
No.
Yeah. 17 going on. Like we're over 17 at this point. But yeah, it's so funny how quickly time goes.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
it's like asking somebody, well, when did you start singing? Well, I started singing in church at age 5.
That's right. That's right.
That's good.
That's
What's
right.
next for you?
Well,
Workshop coming up or anything?
I have a number of speaking engagements, but it's about not only getting through tax season, right? Because that's where we are
deadline
right
is
now.
here, right?
Yes, we're coming up.
Where's
But
my
it's-
fingernails?
But also to say that just because the tax filing deadline is coming up doesn't mean that tax season doesn't go all year round.
Yeah.
So in addition to me going out and speaking to different organizations and different businesses relating to what they should be paying attention to relating to their taxes, I'm also helping clients and working with clients to get themselves ready and get their plan together for the rest of the year.
And there's also an extension if they don't make the 15th of
Yeah,
April.
the thing about extensions is it can, depending on what your situation
like
is,
to do
right?
them, I see.
It's not to say that I don't like to do them, but I want people to be more educated about what an extension actually does, right?
Yeah.
So for your individual tax returns, if you're filing an extension, if you're owed a refund, then you're not necessarily required to file an extension. It's more so, I find it more so applicable to people who have a balance due when they're filing their tax returns. But I think what most people don't understand is that just filing a tax return, it doesn't give you more time to pay if you're owing on your taxes.
Yeah.
It basically just gives you more time to file the paperwork. So that's why it's even more important to have a strategist or a tax planner on your team, because it gives you a better opportunity not to have to file an
People
extension.
need you. Get a copy of this and send it out all over the
Yes,
place.
yes, absolutely. Amen.
Send me a copy
yes.
too. I would like to check out what we were talking about.
Absolutely.
But if people owe, are you penalized if you file late?
Yes, you are. The longer that it takes for you to actually file the tax
those
return
penalties.
and pay the amount that you owe, it accrues monthly. So you want to make sure that one, you're either getting in early, or if you have a plan, if you have a strategic tax advisor on your team, you're actually kind of aware of these things beforehand. So maybe we can help to eliminate you having to owe, or we can put a plan together so that it doesn't hurt as much or it doesn't sting as much.
We need to talk more.
Yes,
Can
we
you come
do.
back and do it again?
Absolutely, anytime.
All right, all right. Tax season is here. Ladies and gentlemen, get it all together. You may want to check out Lorraine Millington.
Thank you so much.
And the name of the business is?
Melanin Tax Solutions.
Melanin Tax Solutions.
And so for anyone who's watching this and saying like, oh man, I think I need a tax strategist on my team.
Not just a CPA.
Not just a CPA, or what most people also don't know was an enrolled agent, which I guess we can have a different conversation about, but that's actually the highest certification level as it relates to tax preparation.
Enrolled agent.
Yes.
Yeah.
So whether you have a CPA, an EA, or even just a tax strategist, and you want to have a conversation relating to your particular situation, I welcome everyone or encourage everyone to go to my website, melanintax.com.
Yeah.
And there you can schedule a free consultation with me so that we can discuss your situation in more detail, right? And really get you set up for
And
success.
you can sink into your chair and relax.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
And take a deep breath as it relates to taxes. Let's make taxes fun.
And even if you're audited, it should come and help you out. Just
Yes.
straighten everything out for
We're
you.
gonna put a plan together so that we audit proof you as much as possible.
There you go. So you may never see an audit.
Yes, yeah. Can't guarantee, but if you do have one, you'll be
That's
ready.
right. Lorraine, thank you so much.
Thank you for having me.
Appreciate you.
Yes.
All right. Come back again.
Thank you.
We'll take a quick break right here, and she'll come back and she'll sing the next time.